Let's try to shoot this video without hurting Chrissy too much. Head and arm chokes for no gi. Okay, and this question is coming from Mara from Origins. All right, so what we'll do is, got some ants going onto the mats. First, you have to try to understand the control positions from that front headlock so that you can start playing with more entries to your submissions, okay? Sometimes it's kind of like getting onto side mount and you're thinking about all the submissions. Like you've got, oh, Americana, Kimura, and you're having a hard time getting there because you're not controlling side mount well, okay? So think about controlling the front headlock first and where the opportunities lie when it comes to trying to do entries for our submissions, okay? So that front headlock position, so she's on her knees and elbows for now, okay? So what I want to do, first of all, is I like the chin strap and my shoulder, like this little divot here, I want it to be there. And the reason for that is anytime she wants to try to come forward, there's that shoulder that's kind of stopping her from going forward, okay? If I'm way up here, there's no traction, right? Like she's gonna try to, wrestle me, and she's gonna try to go double leg or whatever. So I like to have my shoulder there, my chin strap here, okay? The reason for that chin strap is anytime she backs away, that I can kind of pull her into, right? Another thing is controlling this arm, okay? So here's a cool little thing that I learned from Lachlan Giles, okay, watching some of his instructionals, all right? So anytime you try to attack the neck, the arms are generally gonna go and try to pry your arms open. So for example, if I'm over here and she doesn't like that, she'll double up on that arm, she'll try to pull it away, right? So here's a little interesting thing. Depending on which arm they try to control will help kind of dictate what type of grip you're gonna do, okay? And sometimes the grip, okay, if I grip over here, it's Anaconda. If I grip on the other side, it's gonna be the Darce, okay? So which one do I go for generally? Depending on which hand they grab, right? So if they're controlling, let's say this arm, okay, so they're holding on to it or whatever, and I'm over here, that means I won't be able to push it all the way over there, okay? So it's stuck in this area here, which means this other arm has the freedom to go all the way over there. So I'm gonna go for a Darce. If it's this arm that they're controlling, okay, and it's stuck here and I can't go all the way there for the Darce, well then that means my right arm can go all the way over there, and look, I can grab my bicep, doesn't matter, she's grabbing my wrist, I'm gonna be able to start sinking in that Darce, that Anaconda. So that's one way to also start thinking about it once you start studying the finishing mechanics of each, right? Another thing, understanding how the chokes work, okay? So for me, what I like to do is kind of like an arm triangle choke, okay? Actually lie down here, Chrissy, real quick. Have your head over there and your legs over here. We're getting attacked by ants now. It's getting late. So anytime we're doing like an arm triangle choke like this, right? If I'm too low, like for example, I'm over here. So Chrissy's not used to getting choked and stuff like that. So she's not gonna, she's gonna tap to pretty much everything, right? So we're gonna try to make this as clean as possible. So if I'm too low, like for example, I'm here and I'm pushing like by like the meat of her shoulder, sometimes that's not going to be as good, especially if the guy has broad shoulders and he's strong there. Well, what I actually want to do is a little bit, just a tad bit higher than that, and then I want to kind of like turn in, right? So she's going to tap in. So that same pressure of this right here and making sure that it's nice and snug on the other side is the same thing that you're doing with every other head and arm choke, okay? So let's go on your knees again. Which means one thing that I like going for when it comes to like Anaconda choke, and generally that's what I like to go for more than the Darce, is I go for this, what I call the Matt Hughes choke, okay? He got Ricardo Almeida with this choke, okay? Which is, once you're over here, you want to get a gable grip, okay? All right? And what you're going to do with this forearm is going to help get that arm here, okay? So if she comes up here, it's the same thing with the arm triangle choke. Right? So if the arm triangle choke a while ago, when I was here, okay, I'm trying to face her from here, I want to do the same thing. I want to create pressure there. It's the same thing, right? So as I go over here, her elbow's on the ground, I go here. Now, right now, her arm's not across. If she's strong here and she's putting a lot of pressure there, as I'm trying to do this motion, it's gonna have too much traction on the ground. I won't be able to do it. So one thing that you can do, okay, is to kind of lift her up, and then you can start pushing that in, okay? So lift her up. I'm not putting a lot of weight on Chrissy right now. I'd be on both feet, and I'd move. I'd go here, boom, and then try to really move her. But just so that you just get the idea.
Try.
Just so that you get the idea, right? I'll do this, and I'll do that.
Oh my god.
It's like your whole body is going on.
You did it again.
So, okay, let's just get to the end position, okay? So what I want to do is, as I have that, and I'm using my forearm to kind of block this, I want to dive a little bit lower and then pressure in, okay? And I'm going to use my toes to pressure in. My head's going to be underneath here, and I'm using my arms to do this. And I'm pushing myself in there, okay? So I'm here. Let's move a little bit here, okay? Yeah, good. Boom. I go like this. And then I get this nice and snug, like the crook of my elbow on my right side. I have it nice and snug on her neck, okay? And then I start putting my head right here, okay? Now, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip a little bit. Don't drop your head too low. I'm gonna drop my chest a little bit, and then I start pressuring.
Oh my god.
And there's the choke already. Now, what's good with this is once you start understanding that choke, you can start using it to transition to the Anaconda, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm doing that. If she doesn't choke, I'm gonna roll underneath, okay? She's gonna turn. Okay, let's move a little bit. Let's move a little bit here. Okay, so we're here like this. This is inverted north-south. And then what she's gonna do to break this grip is to open this arm, right? So if she's strong there, go ahead, strong, like yeah, put the elbow down. Like I can't close that grip, so I need the help of my legs. So I can use my legs. So now open that.
No way.
My leg is stopping that. Now I start feeding my arm deeper, and I finish the Anaconda choke, okay? So there are different ways to finish the Anaconda. I like to have it nice and snug, okay? So I'll go deep, nice and snug, and finish it like a rear naked choke, but my elbows are coming together, okay? It's not just a pull like this. It's like this, okay? Everything in, okay? So the Anaconda for that, there's one with a Darce. Again, there's so many ways to finish all these submissions. Just like if you look at the armbar or a triangle choke, everybody will have their preference. But I think what's important here is to understand kind of what to go for depending on what she gives you, okay? So we understand depending on the arms. I personally like to go for that one as the first one. If I go for the Darce, so let's say she's controlling my right arm. Let's go this way. Yeah. So she's controlling my right arm, okay? I can't shoot that all the way through. I travel all the way to the other side, okay? And I start looking for the Darce. Now, for the Darce, if I can get this hand free, I'll usually get a gable grip, same thing as a while ago. But this time around, I'm using this one to kind of push up against her chest and her armpit to make her go that way as I put pressure down on her head. So what's going to happen is as I do that, I tuck her head in and I start doing this motion.
Oh.
Yeah. So now that forces her on her side, which allows me to finish the what do you call this? The Darce choke better with my weight on top. Okay, and this is how I like to finish it. Okay, so once I get her here, we're kind of aligned like this. I want to move myself here, and what I like to do is I like to shoot my arm all the way through. Okay, now you'll feel kind of like the snugness on the crook of your elbow. I don't like to get low here. Okay, I actually, what I've been doing lately for this finish is I like to drop my shoulder a little bit here. Okay, and then I squeeze. Okay, so again, not here. You'll feel the difference, Chrissy. Like if I squeeze here, is it the side of your neck?
Yeah, it's like a neck crank.
It's like a neck crank, exactly. So look at where my positioning of my shoulder is. Okay, so what I actually want to do is I want to do this motion. Look, you see how I let the top part of your shoulder kind of come out like this. Now, if I wanted to, I'm just gonna put my elbows together. And I get a choke, more of a choke. Okay, so more of a choke already. And then what I can also do is I sprawl. So what that does is it puts even more pressure. Again, that arm triangle choke kind of pressure that what we were talking about, right? So always remember when she's here and you're trying to do on your knees, trying to do a Darce, put the top of your forearm on her head, wrench her up like this to her side, follow the side here, press up on her head, okay? Let's move here a little bit. When you're here, never do this, okay? Just slide it. So that whole time there's something blocking the back of her head. Inch your arm closer and start tightening it up. If your chest is on the shoulder, you'll feel that it's not as snug, so drop it a little bit this way. Here. I feel already that it's a lot tighter. I put my elbows together, she'll already choke. Yep, you got that, Chrissy?
Yeah.
Or if not, as I'm putting my elbows together, I drop and put my chest down on her a little bit more. Okay? So what that does, you okay?
Mm-hmm.
What that does is it'll kind of compress a little bit more. So again, here, have everything tight. Boom. So there is, if you're getting more of the crank rather than the choke, that's because your wrist bone is here and you're squeezing like this, like a rear naked choke. And if it's on the side of the neck, you're basically driving your wrist bone on her neck, and it's gonna hurt, right? So what you want to do, for me, I like to get it as deep as possible, and I'll go here, and that little adjustment here, you'll feel the tightness kind of from here, it'll move down to here, the pressure. That's what you felt?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here is it's like this. Triangle. If I do a triangle choke, let's move it here a little bit. Yeah. If I do a triangle choke and it's here and I start squeezing, it's not gonna do anything on this side of her neck, right? But once I start like getting it closer towards, cupping that shoulder, okay? Yeah, then she taps right away. So it's the same thing. Invest time on understanding how head and arm chokes work so that you know exactly where to put the pressure, okay? That's kind of like my brief answer. I'll try to do more videos on dissecting like each of those submissions, and you can kind of play around with it. There's a Japanese necktie, Anaconda, guillotines, arm-in guillotines, Darce, 10-finger, and a whole lot more. So Peruvian necktie also. So play around with that, and hope you take something from this video. Peace.